Top 10 upcoming PlayStation 4 games. I want to talk about this. Ooh, yeah. But before we get to this video, let's get to the question of the day. Alright, so stay tuned to the end of this video to find out the answer to the question of the day. Alright, so let's talk about the top 10 PlayStation 4 upcoming games, and announced at least. I mean, obviously the PS4 is yet to be released, but these are the top 10 games that I really want to play on this new system. So let's begin with number 1. Watch Dogs. Alright, yeah, I mean, I do want to try Watch Dogs. It looks pretty sweet, it looks dope, it looks illy, it looks fly, it looks interesting, okay? The gameplay, I'm curious to see how it works, just how everything, I can imagine, because it's got that open world sense to it, and you're just this character walking around, but it feels like the missions are going to be more, kind of like a linear quality to it. It's going to be very direct, like, oh, you gotta go here, you gotta move here, you gotta go there, and it feels like, just looking at the trailers, it looks, there's less traveling, just less of that open world, oh, I just hop inside a car and drive anywhere I want to, and not really going anywhere. This one feels a lot more focused, it seems, and just, again, going by my impressions of the trailers, it looks more like you gotta actually do work, you gotta put in time, like effort, and actually, do what you're supposed to do and finish the missions. I mean, and also it's not running on the Assassin's Creed engine, which kind of surprised me. It's running on something else, and Ubisoft has said this, so I just assume it's gonna be, it's gonna be some Assassin's Creed type of game. It's gonna have the same exact engine, and it's gonna be, all the different characters on screen, and no, I mean, it's not gonna be like that. I do also like the parkour element, the fact that if you're running away from, or if you're chasing a character, and, he starts leaping over fences, you can actually chase him that way using parkour-style tricks and shit like that. It's a pretty cool looking game. The only thing is maybe it's not going to be released only for the PS4, it's not an exclusive, so it's going to be available for the other systems as well, like 360 and PS3, and that's what's been announced, so it's just like, oh, well, it's not as special as maybe an actual real exclusive to the PS4 that you can only experience in that system. Alright, number 2, Infamous Second Son. I like Infamous. It's a really fun game, and it is probably one of the best exclusives for the PS3, but I would be curious to play more, an expanded universe kind of thing with more characters, because Cole does get boring after a while, and I kind of wish you could do more things. After a while, after you finish the missions, that's pretty much it. You can't really, there's not a lot of replay value, at least for me, even with the whole, dual, you can be bad or evil, bad, evil, good, that's the one. You could be good or bad. No, but that's the thing with Infamous. You can be bad or evil. Like, if you're Infamous, you're doing some crazy shit, but you're still, that's the thing, you're infamous. You're living in infamy. You have a bad reputation. You're infamous. That's what, you're not famous. You're not well liked. And you could be outrightly completely evil. Just a guy who just punishes everybody, kills people. So, I don't know. Is that what they meant? Like, was the infamous part supposed to be the good side or the bad part? When the thing turns red. Like, what's the infamous part of it? Because I would assume that if you're infamous, you're doing the good thing, you're being benevolent. But you're not really 100% good. You're kind of more of an anti-hero. Anyway, I don't want to delve too much in that. Second Son looks good because of the many different characters. I like the premise, the whole kicking the police ass. I like that. Anything against law enforcement is cool to me. You know, any sort of like video game type of thing where you're going against the cops and authority. I love that shit. Alright, number 3. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Because The Witcher is going to go on this PlayStation system, and it's going to be interesting to see the graphics and the fact that, you know, you have this RPG, and it's like, oh shit, The Witcher, yeah, it looks good, man. Just out of the fact that it's the PS4, you know, I'm just curious to see how well this game's going to look, how big it's going to be. I mean, apparently it's going to be, like, influenced by Skyrim. You know, they took cues from that game, and they're like, oh shit. They made it even more epic, I guess. You can imagine the customization, the storytelling. It's going to be Skyrim-esque. So The Witcher does look pretty sweet, and the fact that it's like a high-profile, you know, RPG style of game, fantasy game on the PS4. Be curious to see how well that plays out. Alright, number 4, The Witness. Another game with a W. The Witness is a pretty cool-looking puzzle game. Obviously, we've seen the graphics in the February 20th event. It doesn't look like it's going to be... You know, it looks like it could be on the Xbox 360, PS3, you know, even the original Xbox type thing, or a high-end PC in 2004. It doesn't, you know... But... it's different, and that's what I like about it. I like the fact that it's a puzzle-style game, and you're stuck on an island doing your thing, and you're solving a bunch of crazy-ass puzzles. It just sounds so quirky and, you know, different from everything else. Love to play. I would love to play this game, even for the PS4. I mean, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure how much, like, you know, how much this game is gonna need the PS4's engine to run. Like, again, it looks like it could be a game on the current gen already, but yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Number 5, Knack. Knack looks interesting to me because the character is kind of, yeah, kind of quirky, kind of weird. Again, I'm a fan of that weird shit. And it's kind of like a robotic type of character, you know, there's a bit of that transformation thing going on, and you know, even the human characters look like Disney/Pixar characters that are more appealing to a younger audience, and I'm a bit of a sucker for that. I do, you know, I like that stuff. I like that Ratchet and Clank shit, you know, that sly shit. It's a fun-looking game. I just... because, you know, we saw the graphics. It looked pretty sweet, but I'm not sure. It looks like an early PS4 game. Like, holy... I have a feeling like 7 years in the future, we're gonna look back on Knack and be like, oh shit, look how outdated this game looks. Like, ugh, look at those graphics. Oh my god, look, there's not as much detail on it. And I'm also like, the only thing is that I'm kind of afraid it'll be kind of a by-the-numbers action game. It's like, oh, it'll have some nifty little things, but not as revolutionary. Like, the gameplay isn't gonna be that exceptional. It's gonna be, whatever. But I have high hopes. Like, it does look pretty sweet. There's a vision behind it, you know. I hope it'll be like a Psychonauts type of thing, where, oh shit, this game is just so inventive and weird. Number 6, Destiny. Now, Destiny is the Bungie game that everybody's hyped up about. I'm seeing ads for this fucking thing already, which is crazy. Now, it'll be out for the PS4, and I definitely would like to play it on that, but because it is going to be on the 362, it just sort of cuts into that, you know, another type of Halo thing going on. But I'm curious to see how it all plays out. There's some people saying, oh, it's just going to be another Halo clone or ripoff. It's a shooter, you know what I mean? Another one. I'm still curious to see how it all goes, because it is from the Bungie gods. I mean, they have a certain vision. They have made quality games in the past. And at the very least, I mean, it's another type of game where you can experience it in a multiplayer fashion and, you know, have fun with it. You know, they could try something new here. It could be... I think it's a little unfair to just say that this is a Halo ripoff or a clone or some shit like that. It might have similarities, but I'm curious to see what kind of different gameplay elements it will contain, as opposed to the Halo series. I mean, it could have something new about it. Maybe a better storyline for once, a more interesting character, you know, something like that. Number 7, Killzone Shadowfall. Again, another shooter, but at the same time, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Like, I'm curious to see how the story plays out. I am a fan of Killzone. I like Killzone. Not so sure about the Shadowfall. Like, is this Killzone 4, or is this like, you know, just a side quest type of thing, an offshoot of the Killzone brand? Regardless, I'm curious because the graphics look sweet, the presentation look great, and I'm hoping for just a fun experience. This feels like one of those big budget fucking movies that come out every summer, and some of them do suck, but it could be good. Like, you just have a fun time playing it. It doesn't look too difficult. Killzone, yeah, this game looks pretty awesome. I'm psyched, you know, to want to play this thing. Number 8, Diablo 3. Okay, so Diablo 3 has been out for the PC, but on the PS4 it is kind of cool, because it's a... Man, Blizzard doesn't really release a lot of console titles. I mean, they had that stupid scheduled StarCraft Ghost, which never saw the light of day. No, they had a StarCraft 64 for the Nintendo 64 back in the day, but... It's awesome to have the Diablo game on, you know, the PS4. Curious to see the gameplay, how the controls work, and I'm excited about it, because it could be an inferior port, and that's always a risk, but it's freaking Diablo, man. I mean, come on, let's try to enjoy this thing. It's not a shooter, you know, it's not some sort of, you know, a hack PS3. It's not going to be a hack PlayStation game, like, oh, another sequel of God of War, you know what I mean? Like, come on. It's something unique, you know, it's something that the console doesn't get to experience. Like, you know, console gamers like myself, I don't play a lot of PC stuff, so it'd be cool to see Diablo 3 on the fucking PS4. Number 9, we got Deep Down by Capcom. You know, the first time I saw the trailer, or whatever, the CGI footage of the thing, I thought it was gonna be a shit, oh god, what was it called? A ghouls and ghosts type of game. That's right. You know, with that knight and shooting the thing. The really hard games, you know, the Super Ghouls and Ghosts franchise. And I thought it was gonna be like an updated, like a fucking next-gen version of that. Because you saw the knight and the dragon in there. I was like, oh wow. That would be very curious if there was a fucking Ghouls and Ghosts game, and Deep Down was just like, you know, a fake title to throw us off. Like, that would be so cool. But I'm not sure. It is Capcom. They have weird shit going on with their games, and it's kind of hit or miss with Capcom. You know, some of the games suck, some of the games are good. So at the very, you know, that CGI thing was kind of interesting. Like, it made me curious to see what the gameplay is going to be like. Could be a hack and slash action adventure. I would like to play this title. Alright, number 10, Cyberpunk 2077. Alright, I don't know much about this. It's gonna be an RPG game. Looks good. I mean, it sounds good, rather. Alright, and number 10, Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know much about this. It's going to be an RPG role-playing game, apparently, based on some sort of other thing. I'm always curious about role-playing games, except for fucking Final Fantasy, which has been run into the ground, and I don't care about Final Fantasy. Which is why it's not on this list. But Cyberpunk does look... It sounds interesting. It sounds like something unique and something that could be cool. It's got... Fuck, it's got Cyberpunk in the title. Like, shit, you know, Cyberpunk stuff I've always been a fan of anyway. You know, that not too distant future kind of setting, and the computer thing, and oh man, I love that shit. And because it's an RPG... Again, it's not a shooter, it's not some fucking hack and slash, it's not an action platformer, it's a role-playing game that could be unique, it could be good. I'm excited about it, man. Cool stuff. The only thing is that it comes out in late 2015, and that's a long ways away. I mean, that's a long time from now, and it's almost like, why even bother announcing it at this point? But now you got me curious, you piqued my interest, so I just hope Cyberpunk turns out to be good. Alright, so this was the answer to the question of the day.